It's a rare sight when footballers reach their utmost best, but the beautiful game has been gifted with some magnificent players who produce otherworldly performances day in and day out. Cristiano Ronaldo versus Juventus. Cristiano Ronaldo completed 2 years of scoring one of the greatest goals in Champions League history during the Real Madrid versus Juventus clash on April 3rd of 2018. The Portuguese legend scored an acrobatic bicycle kick which drew applause from many Juventus fans as well. Cristiano Ronaldo's goal helped his former club Real Madrid beat his current club Juventus in the quarterfinal en route to their 3rd consecutive Champions League title. Incidentally, Ronaldo became the first player to score in 10 consecutive Champions League games. Real Madrid traveled to the Allianz Stadium on this day, April 3rd of 2018, to face off against Juventus in the first leg of the Champions League quarterfinal. Real Madrid dominated the proceedings and took advantage of an early Cristiano Ronaldo goal versus Juventus before the Portuguese forward scored one of the greatest goals in Champions League history in the second half. Ronaldo, with his back to the goal, leapt in the air to connect a Dani Carvajal cross to score an outstanding bicycle kick into the top right corner to double Real Madrid's advantage. Cristiano Ronaldo's effort was so mesmerizing that even goalkeeper Gianluigi Buffon stood rooted to his spot, and the home fans gave the Portuguese forward a standing ovation. 3 months after the epic Ronaldo goal versus Juventus, the Portuguese forward ended his 9-year stay in the Spanish capital to move across to the Turin Giants. Lionel Messi versus Bayern Munich. Messi's performance for Barcelona against Bayern Munich ranks among the greatest of all time in club colors and confirms he stands alone again when it comes to assessing the world's best. Perhaps the most striking thing about Lionel Messi's second goal against Bayern Munich at the Camp Nou on Wednesday night was his gentleness. There were 80 minutes gone when Messi approached Jerome Boateng, feigned to go inside, but instead glided to his right, not so much a dribble as a kind of lullaby, leaving Boateng, Manuel Neuer, and finally Rafinha lying down very gently on their backs in their own penalty area as the ball floated into the back of the net. In the space of 5 perfect strides, Messi had effectively put the Bayern defense to sleep, lulled into a drowsy supplication at his feet by a moment of controlled gymnastic perfection. Messi is unstoppable. Pep Guardiola shrugged at the end of Barcelona's 3-0 first leg victory, which sounded at first a little cute, an evasion of responsibility from a coach whose game plan had clearly failed. Pep's trip to the Camp Nou had ended the way Pep's trips to the Camp Nou always used to, with an opposition coach frazzled and outmaneuvered, eyes bulging out on the touchline. On this occasion, that coach happens to be Pep himself, halfway through a semi-final billed as a collision of influence between player and manager, a peeling back of the synergy between the two. At the end of which, it's tempting to conclude what some have already suggested, that Guardiola is a genius when he's got some genius to him. And that Messi is simply Messi, a player who is, after a slight but undeniable hiatus, once again operating to a different set of physical rules, and who has just produced something that might just rank among the all-time club football performances. It's easy to go overboard here, to get drunk on superlatives, just as it's also easy to become injured by repetition of the pitch of Messi's brilliance, but this was a genuinely rare combination. A great player producing a great performance against great opposition at the vital moment in an elite competition. Bayern was without some heavyweight players, but they remain a genuine powerhouse opponent, managed by a princeling of the modern age and stuffed through with World Cup winners. And yet, Messi's performance in victory was not simply ruthless, it was decorative too, shot through with moments of grace and beauty, the work of a 10-year club football superstar who still appears to believe that he's playing a game rather than carrying out a tactic or executing a plan. At the Camp Nou, Messi scored 2 brilliant goals, made a third, and at times even yawned his way around champion opponents like a man tactfully avoiding a gaggle of overheated toddlers in a high street coffee shop. Often, he took the ball and shimmied past 2 or 3 men, operating within a kind of fermata in which events slowed and paused around him, and providing a reminder that he remains one of the greatest dribblers, the master of the flip-flap, the surge, and the amphetamine-crazed millipede shift of feet. If Messi has done this before, big game, big opponent, big performance, that shouldn't diminish the achievement now. There's always an urge to scoff at the sensationalizing of the present, but if it looks like a genius at the peak of his performance and quacks like a genius at the peak of his performance, well, you get the idea. What are the comparables anyway? Zinedine Zidane against Brazil in 2006, Ronaldo against Manchester United in 2003, maybe even sacrilege. Diego Maradona against Belgium in 1986, Johan Cruyff in the 5-0 defeat of Real Madrid in 1974, or Pele against England in 1964, after which Jimmy Greaves observed, "Pele is on another bloody planet." Now who does that remind you of? Plus, of course, Messi has his own platinum disc greatest hits, from the semi-playful evisceration of Manchester United in the 2011 Champions League final to his hat-trick, aged 19, for a 10-man Barcelona against Real Madrid. Neymar versus PSG. Barcelona completed one of the most sensational comebacks in the history of football by beating Paris Saint-Germain 6-1 to reach the Champions League quarterfinals on Wednesday, scoring the decisive goal of a 6-5 victory on aggregate in the 5th minute of stoppage time. Sergi Roberto's dramatic late goal sent the Nou Camp into hysteria and made Barcelona the first team ever to overturn a 4-0 first leg defeat since the Champions League format started in the 1992-93 season. PSG seemed certain to go through after Edinson Cavani scored a valuable away goal following Barcelona's opening salvo of 3 goals. But Barcelona rallied and left the French champions stunned. All the pre-match build-up had focused on Messi and what the Argentine wizard would bring to the game, but on the big occasion, it was his fellow South American who stepped up to the plate and delivered. His energy was infectious and his composure on the ball gave little indication that this was an all-or-nothing showdown in the last 16 of the Champions League. His stunning free kick was what kick-started Barcelona's late fight back before his penalty kick 3 minutes later put the home side in reaching distance of the impossible. And then, in a moment of sheer class, he floated in an exquisite delivery to set Sergi Roberto up for the winner. An inspired evening from the Brazilian. Before moving on to the next point, please subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any more football-related videos. Ronaldo versus Real Madrid. It's not often that an opposition player strikes into the Santiago Bernabeu, waltzes rings around the home side's players, and then receives a standing ovation as he wanders off, the departing conqueror lauded as a hero. But on November 19, 2005, Barcelona and Real Madrid's rivalry is one of the longest and most covered in world football, but at the turn of the millennium, it was taking on a new dimension. It was clear from the opening whistle that Ronaldo was on his game, which was bad news for Real's right center back, the 20-year-old Sergio Ramos. Ramos had joined from Sevilla for £18 million in the summer, but, while undoubtedly prodigiously talented, remained a work in progress. Throughout the 90 minutes, Ronaldo would highlight exactly where that work was needed. The opening goal came from Eto'o, however, and with just 15 minutes on the clock, he and Ronaldo had already created decent openings even before that early breaking of the deadlock, as Real was immediately knocked onto the back foot. It was a typical rapier-like finish from the striker, a quick turn and prodded finish that roared past Casillas. The assist came from Messi, wearing the now unfamiliar number 30 shirt, who had cut in from the right and caused havoc in the Madrid defense before Eto'o took the ball on and lashed it home. The celebration was as notable as the goal. Eto'o dashed across the corner flag below the president's box, raised his arm in the air, pointed to the Barcelona crest on his shirt, and then to the pitch to underline the mistake Real president Florentino Perez had made in letting him go, the Independent recalled. Barcelona continued to dominate proceedings, Real failing to even have a shot on goal, but at halftime, it was still 1-0. After the break, which was extended slightly when a British man invaded the pitch, that discrepancy would be addressed as the effervescent Ronaldinho simply took over. The Brazilian had been the most dangerous player on the pitch all game, but that only translated into a goal just before the hour mark. It was nevertheless a thing of beauty, that year's Ballon d'Or winner at his absolute best. Receiving the ball on the halfway line out on the left, he dribbled seamlessly into the box, jinking around defenders, Ramos outside, Helguera inside like they weren't even there. With only Casillas to beat, Ronaldinho wrong-footed the goalkeeper with a disguised shot that beat the custodian at his near post. It was the unwavering conviction of the run and sheer authority of the finish that left everyone watching with a sense that there was nothing the defense could do to stop such a player in such form. That assessment was only confirmed 20 minutes later when Ronaldinho grabbed his second. It was similar in both style and swagger as he again rounded the humbled Ramos before opening up his body and side-footing his shot around Casillas, who had begun berating his defense almost before the ball hit the back of the net. And that's all for today's video, guys. If you want to know more about the football stars and their lives, do click on one of these videos that are on your screen right now. See you guys there.